We're just going to get loose. Today, once we get working, is about staying strong through the upper body. We're going to think about tension in the upper body, and we're going to think about being loose in the lower body today. But for right now, I just want you to loose. We're just going to work a little side to side as we pivot away from that foot. Let that foot pivot with you. Let's spin. Let it be light on the ground. Try to bring that head with you. I promise I'm not doing anything different than what I was doing 5 seconds ago. So just kind of take your eyes with you. Take that belly button with you as you turn. A few more reps here. All right, let's slow it down. Let's walk those hands on out to that plank position. Take your time here. Once we get here, I want you to kick those feet out just a little bit for me. We're going to spend a decent amount of position working through a few different variations of renegade rows, overhead reaches, shoulder taps, stuff like that today. So I want you to get comfortable with a little bit wider base than you might typically have in your plank position. Once you get there, I want you to take that left hand, I want you to bring it towards the left rib cage. We're going to try to keep that body squared off. Breathe. Tension in that upper body. Tension through the trunk. Long through the head. Bring that left hand back down. Keep those hands underneath the shoulders for me if you can. All right. Right hand comes to that rib cage. Throughout the workout today, if this becomes too much for you, if it's too much for you at like the halfway point, still try to stay on the toes. But if it's too much for you, the minute you get started, I'm going to have you on the knees today. And what that looks like is knees will just be here, and we'll still be working those positions. It's still challenging, I promise. All right, knees come on up. Walk those hands on back. Standing position. All right, we're going to go Cossack squat. Nice big old squat stance. So we're just going to rock side to side. If you can get super low, great. This first thing you're doing today might be a little challenging. So if you're kind of just living here, that's fine, as long as you are feeling some stretch in that inner thigh. Okay? But if you can stay low, point down to that lateral lunge position, that's where I want you. Breathe. Weights in the heels. If you want to let that opposite foot pivot up as you sink down, you certainly can. I know it helps me to be able to get to that bottom position, but it does challenge those hamstrings a little bit more. Few more reps here. We're going to really make sure we get those inner thighs out of our way. They're not going to fight us today. And let's take it up top. Get a little loose again if you need to. All right, so if you were here yesterday, we have a similar format, a little less flow today. So we're going to have a little bit more strength mindset. We're still going to work in some angles. So really it's about strength angles. And a bigger difference, as I mentioned earlier, is today's about tension through upper body, lower body's going to be loose because we're going to be working on a lot of different angles, getting all over the place with those legs. All right. Let me start my little cheat sheet, my little timer, so I don't make you all stay in position for 5 minutes. We're going to go ahead and walk those hands on out. Let's find that plank position again for me. All right, we're going to work alternating renegade row, bringing the hand to the rib cage, just like we did in the warm up, back down. I want you to spend a full breath in that row position. If your breath is longer than mine and you spend more time in that single arm position, that 3-point of contact, all right? You're working that exhale every rep. You may not hear me exhaling, but I'm exhaling as I'm talking. My hips are trying not to move. I'm just locking everything in. Strong in that upper body. And now pay attention. Have your hands gotten side by side? If they have, walk them back out. Try to keep them underneath the shoulders. One more good rep. And let's walk those hands on back. All right. This next movement might seem a little bit easy for a first round. Stay with me. We're going to progress it quick, I promise. I want you to go to whatever side you think is your non-dominant side. Some of you might have figured it out in our past classes. All right, that foot for me is my left side. So stay flat on the ground. I'm going to slide my right foot back and then drive up. And press the hips back, sliding that right foot, and then driving through the hip. Okay, that big toe is just lightly on the ground. I'm looking out in front of the body. I'm looking at something that's not going to move. Strong through the rib cage. I'm really trying to load up. For me is my left hip, my left glute, my left hamstring, back of the leg before I work that hip drive. Nice strong hinge. Hip drop, 10 more seconds. We are going to be working that opposite side next. And this is going to build us up to a much more challenging movement in that second and third round. Relax. All right, we're switching out sides here. Weight still in the heel, okay, of that plant leg. Now for me, I'm sliding my left foot. You might be sliding your right depending on where your dominant or non-dominant side is. All right, let's go ahead and start sliding that foot on back. Nice tall stance. Sliding back. Load. Pay attention here, even with having that foot slightly on the ground, are you still rotating through the hips? Is the foot that you're sliding, is that hip starting to open up? Are you showing off your belt buckle to the person to your left or to your right? Or are you keeping everything squared off in front of the body? You need to be aware of those things in this position, so when we escalate things, it's a little bit easier. We're more aware. Woo. Nice load, still a strong drive. You're still initiating that hip extension like you're pressing 200 pounds to the floor. And relax. All right. Whatever your non-dominant side is, I want you to plant that foot on the ground. For me, again, is my left side. I'm just working a reverse lunge with an overhead reach. I'm strong through the upper body, letting the lower body move smooth. Let's work. Pull those elbows down like you're pulling yourself up onto a pull-up bar. Reach strong. Drive through that hip. We're staying on the same side. Hopefully you figured out what your non-dominant side was when you work that RDL. You might find out one side's a little bit weaker than the other. You can reach strong. Pull those handles down. Pull that ceiling down. Work that exhale as you drive that hip through. Relax. Switching out sides, going dominant side. You can, of course, don't have to keep pivoting side to side. I'm doing it just so you can see my work side. All right. Again, reach on the way down. Pull as you drive up. All right. Brace that rib cage. Step on back. Breathing in on the way down. Nice strong load. And again, pulling those handles down as we get to that standing position. I want you to feel those shoulder blades pull down. I want you to try to feel those lats, those wings along the side of the body as you pull down. Halfway through. Nice strong load. You're not rushing through the descent. You're rushing through the explosion of the hip to get back to that standing position. And relax. All right, so we're taking it back to where we started. Before we work that renegade row, we're now going to work shoulder taps. You're still going to work that exhale or that hold long enough to get a complete exhale. Okay, we're going to make this one as challenging as we can. Play position. Right hand, left shoulder, hold, breathe. Switch. All right, if you're already thinking, Chris, this was easy. Okay, I got this one. All right, get those feet a little bit closer together. But keep those hands wide. And you're going to feel yourself having to fight to find your center. Even harder to keep that center. Keep that weight distributed. And if it's starting to feel easy, feet go closer, hands go wider. You're still long through the body. You're gripping those hands into the floor. 5 more seconds here. And relax. Let's make our way on up. We're going non-dominant side first. All right? We're working a true RDL. Hopefully mine's not too sloppy on my non-dominant side. but we're going to work that nice strong hinge all the way back up. Brace the rib cage, pull the belly button to the belt line, drive that opposite heel back. You're long to the head, back up nice and tall. Nice strong reach, back up nice and tall. When you go back to being tall, I want you to drive through the hip of the leg that's down. Don't use your low back. All right, don't get lazy here. Pull those toes towards the feet. Create those strong tension points. And now if you want to make it a little more challenging, you can reach those hands out in front of the body, going long to that T position. Strong load, not rushing through the load. And strong drive. Probably your last rep here for keeping a tempo with me. And relax. If you can make the body long, make it long on that reach. All right, we're going dominant side. If you're with me, that's right side. All right. Driving that opposite heel back. Make sure my rib cage stays in. I'm pressing through the heel. My toes are pulled towards the knee. I'm not letting this become a lazy movement. I'm not letting this become an easy movement. And if I need a little bit of that extra sauce, I reach. And I still drive. Load, still drive. Be aware if you're using that low back, if you feel your rib cage poke out as you stand, you're using your low back to get out of it. With body weight, that's no issue. If I put a barbell in your hands, put a kettlebell in your hands, that's a big issue. One more rep if you're with me. And relax. All right. So today we're staying loose in lower body. We're going to go to our crossover lunge, non-dominant side first. If you want to be with me, I'm working left side first. My right leg is going to step back and over as I still work the reach as I do with that reverse lunge. So we'll step back and across, back up. And the reason I'm picking this angle, so you can see my front knee does not come with my body. My front knee is staying loaded over the toes. I'm pressing through the heel, the big toe, and that little pinky. Okay, so I've got a nice tripod going on through the foot. Still nice strong load. Strong pull down of those handles to the sky. If you don't step over as far as me, fine. That's great. You don't need to, okay? If that reverse lunge was challenging enough for you, go back to it. But if you can really challenge that hip, challenge how much you can reach that back leg across, give yourself that range of motion. Relax. All right, going dominant side. If you're with me, you're going right side, left foot stepping back and over. Brace the belly. Belt line towards belly button. Reach. Body's long. Strong drive. Quick side profile view. I'm not stepping really far back. Okay, I'm just stepping as far back as I would typically with a lunge. Okay, I'm not going to this massive hip opener here. Okay, I'm just loading up the hip, loading up the glute, and then driving back up. 20 more seconds here. How strong can you stand? Without losing integrity. They were so strong through the belly. Reach and drive. And relax. All right, so we're getting back to where we started as far as movement category. We get back to that plank position. All right, this time we're working an overhead reach. We're in our plank. Your thumb's going to go to the sky. And you're going to reach as far as you can, but still stay strong to that rib cage. All right, let's find that plank position. Reach that thumb to the sky and back down. Reach from the sky, back down, eyes are on the ground. Nothing's changed as far as our other movements. Okay, hands are still underneath the shoulders. Feet are as narrow as you can get them while still maintaining the movement, so maintaining structure through the hips. Maintaining a strong front line. And able to get that thumb to the sky. If you got really healthy shoulders, You can try to hit your palm to the sky. All right, almost leading with that pinky. A little challenging for this guy. Holding kids too much. Shoulder blades locked up. But you really just want to get that thumb to the sky, back down, thumb to the sky, and on that note, back down. All right, so we're going to go back to that RDL. We're going to add a cradle, and I'm going to challenge you to touch the ground as minimally as possible. So what that looks like, you're going to work that RDL, and you're going to come to a cradle, and then right back to an RDL, okay? So find your balance on your good leg. Work that RDL, coming to that cradle, going back to that RDL. We're not rushing any part of this. My transition is slow and controlled, getting from that reach to that cradle. Definitely working on dominant side right now. Give that cradle some oomph. Give yourself a big old bear hug there. Brace the belly. Oh, getting me to touch the ground and restart. And relax. Whew. Hopefully by now you figured out if you have a non-dominant side. If you have not and you feel as equal as can be, shoot me a message. I need what you're doing. Okay? Just kidding. Hopefully all feel equal. All right, going dominant side. Working RDL to that cradle. Again, we progress to get here. We work that slide, which most of you probably thought it might have been a little too easy. We work that RDL, which should have picked things up a little bit. And now we've added in the cradle and a little bit of time under tension without touching the ground. If you need to tap the ground, you tap the ground, you reset the body. All right, we're a little past halfway on this side. Ooh, had to get a little tap. Give me one more clean rep if you're with me. Strong in that cradle. And relax. All right, we want reverse lunge. We want crossover lunge, or they're called curtsy. We're going to go lateral now. Okay? So I'm going to be stepping, loading my left leg, driving back up. That's one of those Cossack squats we did a game play in. All right, so if you're with me, you're stepping out left leg, pulling down, using those hands as an offset as much as you need. And your goal for today, as is this strength flow, all right, is getting comfortable in those uncomfortable positions. So don't rush out of the bottom. Own it. Back up. Own it. Weights on the heel. Back up. Now, go as far as you feel comfortable with. If right here is where you need to be, that's where you need to be. If you can pull down to that bottom position, wonderful. Challenge yourself. Right under 10 seconds. Maybe time for one more good rep. Relax. Ooh. Love-hate relationship with those. The old me would always pick burpees over those. All right. If you're with me, you're stepping out right leg. You're still loading up the heel. Let's step it on out. Load it up. Back up. Ooh, got a little toe load there. Make sure we stay on that heel. Shift that weight back. Use those hands as much as you need to. And pause. I just noticed I picked up speed a little bit. We're going to have to own an extra breath in that bottom position. Okay, I want you to try to sit where it's uncomfortable, not where you feel pain. Yep. And encourage the body to become strong in those newfound ranges of motion. Right under 10 to work. Maybe one more good rep if you're with me. And relax. All right. Move those hips around a little bit. All right, so that's it as far as our strength today. We're going to get a quick little bit of mobility in. If you need to run, understand, but please try to stretch later. All right, take a couple of deep breaths. Heart rate hopefully didn't skyrocket today. Like I said, yesterday was a little more of a flow. We got a little A little consistent movement going on. Today was a little more strength, hence strength flow. All right. We're going to work a little bit of a hamstring floss today. Take a deep breath before we take it out of the ground position. Again, heart rate should be spiked right now, so I'm not too worried about getting you on the ground. Let's go and lie on back. I want you to extend that left leg as far as you can. I want you to bring that right knee right over top of your right hip. Interlock the fingers below the knee, so closest to the closer side to the hip. And we're going to drive to the heel. Woo, nice strong hamstring stretch. And back down with 5 reps. This is not going to be long enough for the stretch I would recommend after a strength session, but this will let the body know you're done. It can start relaxing, it can start recovering, it can start building. You're with me, you have 1 more rep, all on that right side. Drop the right leg, extend the right leg as far as you can get that heel away from the top of the hip, and then pull the toes towards yourself. Left knee comes over top of the hip, interlock those fingers, drive to the heel. Actively pulling the heel back down, actively driving the heel to the sky. This is a great one if you do have any low back issues. This is a great one. I know this is the last thing you want to think about if you're just getting off a meeting. This is a great dynamic stretch. We're not holding it too long. We get that nice full length of the hamstring. We get a little bit of the hip opener as we're in this long position. We get braced through the belly. We get reset through the shoulders. Reality is a nice posture check position. All right. If you're comfortable there, take a nap, hang out. Enjoy your evening. I'm going to hang out for a minute and answer any questions, feedback, anything that y'all may have. Always love to hear it.